Hello, fellow horror fiends, and welcome to The Horror Within Me, a podcast dedicated to the world of horror. Join us each week as our host explores a new, horrifying topic from the many realms of horror, such as film, television, and more, and returns to tell us his terrifying revelations. So sit back, relax, and get ready to face the horrors within.
Hi, and welcome back to another Spooky Sunday episode of The Horror Within Me. I'm your host, Eric, and this week is an extremely special week for The Horror Within Me show. It is the 1 year anniversary. I've been doing this show for 1 year, and I've asked two of my close friends and frequent guests. Grace and Jenny are here, you can see. Say hello, Grace and Jenny.
Hi.
So the three of us together, you guys are in for a fucking treat. And it's going to be everything you love about the show, talking shit, talking trauma, talking horror movies, and terrifying trivia. I don't know what else you want. If that's not what you want, you're at the wrong place, and go find another podcast. So we're going to jump right in. Thank you guys for taking time out to record with me. I know that it's a busy time of year. With Christmas and whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, all that fun shit. But I'm super excited that you guys have been so invested in the show with me, in similar ways and very different ways. So I want to kind of start with you, Grace, because you did my very first episode with me last year.
I did.
That was interesting. Do you remember that experience?
Vividly.
I had COVID and nobody knew.
Nobody knew. I was right there and I didn't get COVID.
No, and we were
like this close.
Yeah, because then I had a cheap Amazon mic that my husband got me for Christmas because I made a joke saying I want to do a podcast. And we had a computer chair, a kitchen chair, one microphone, and a fucking dream. I don't know what else to say. We have pictures of Dayla. We're smiling and shit. We couldn't do this. I didn't even know things like this existed. How did we record remotely? It's been a real long journey, but that first episode was, I think, still so important to the core of the show because it was called New Year, Same Trauma. And a lot of my opinions and our talks, they come from what we've gone through in life. So while I don't preface, I started out where I wanted to tell specific stories of my life, I just organically throw that in now, but it's still very heavily influence of this show. And I think it's important to have listeners still know that. And I appreciate the both of you sharing experiences that were very personal to you too.
Yeah.
Jenny, you were on episode 3, I believe. Episode 4. Was the first episode. So this is episode 35. So I took a break for a few months to finish school. So I didn't record. And then there were times where I was recording every 2 weeks. It's been a whole fucking roller coaster. But your first episode, Jenny, was about, which is perfect for you, was about women in horror and how they were portrayed. Do you remember that?
That was really fun. Because we
Yes.
watched a movie together beforehand so we could talk about it, which was
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, I did not know that you were a horror fan when we first met until the podcast was brought up. And so me and Jenny are into the crazy horror, whereas Grace, she introduced me to anime kind of horror and more cultic, witchy aspects of the horror universe. So the way that the three of us identify with horror is very interesting. But there's one particular story where all of us came together to watch my favorite franchise, which was the Halloween movies. That was really fun. It was right after my wedding, and we were all together. And I thought that was a good experience for all of us to do. And Jenny, didn't you hit somebody physically?
It got violent. It got really intense.
So what happened? What do you normally get violent?
I'm generally not.
a violent person. I don't think I've ever hit anyone other than that. And it was because I was scared. There was a jump scare, and I was sitting next to the person I was seeing at the time, who, after having some, adult libations, had a slower reaction time to the jump scare.
Okay.
So it happened, I jumped, and then a half second later, he jumped, which then scared me more, so I just punched him right in the chest.
Yeah, well, at that point, it was deserving because, do you agree, Grace? Like, I just think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that guy needed to be punched at some point.
I was going to say it. I mean, you can say it first, but somebody had to say it.
I don't really, I feel bad, but
we don't promote physical violence. Links, I don't know what I'm doing. Weird seizure face. But, yeah, so I just wanted to get you all together with me to celebrate this first year and then include what we liked in horror in 2022. And that's in all different ways that we can experience it. And then what we're looking forward to in horror in 2023. And that's really going to be the bulk of this show. So sound good?
Yeah.
So
great.
I sent you guys some show notes that I usually been doing. And for our listeners or watchers, I'm very close to the screen. So I apologize if you're watching this. Please watch it on an iPhone. So I'm not like your 57-inch TV, because let's not do that. But I did not have the answer to terrifying trivia on your notes. I put it on there after. Some sneaky.
I know. I looked. Because when you had it there, I'm going to look and see the answer, and I'm going to be so smart. That was...
No. I'm you can look it up, but I do want to do this week's terrifying trivia question. So I'm going to go to my little notes. So I thought this was a fun one because it relates to my all-time favorite. He's in the background. You see Michael there. It has to do with Halloween Ends. So it is time for this New Year's first terrifying trivia question. And the question is, how many people did Michael Myers kill in Halloween Ends? And we're going to give you the answer at the end of the show. And then I'll give you each an opportunity to guess how many. And it might sound easy, but Jenny, you saw Halloween Ends. And for those of you who are horror fans, you've all seen Halloween Ends. You know that there's 2 killers. So not everyone that is killed is by Michael. So that's all I'm going to put out there. Grace is like, what?
That's what I've been waiting to watch with you. So I'm like, there's what now?
Yeah, it is probably one of the most divisive films of horror movie films this year. The amount of people either loved it or hate it, and it's like being Democratic and Republican in today's America. You either are one or the other. There's no in between for this fucking movie. It's the best way to describe it. Am I right, Jenny?
It's really funny that you say that because I was on the fence and I'm a Green Party member. So
are you always?
I'm gonna make it more difficult for you. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We'll all watch it again because I have to watch it again to really sink in. But we'll watch it again together, and we'll come to another conclusion later on. Right. So let's talk horror, right? We all know that I grew up a horror fanatic, and it's so cool because I've been working on this space that I'm in now, and it's not just it's like my horror room, but also like my gamer room because I like video games and things like that, and it's really just coming together. And my favorite toy was this rubber skeleton. I played with Halloween decorations. I was always into shit like that, and I'm glad that this first year I went out and decided to really be who I was before, because I lost myself for a long time in my previous relationship and thinking of what society wanted me to be like and not knowing that there were other people like me and trying to be like certain image of a whatever. And I was talking to a childhood friend of mine on Snapchat yesterday, and I sent a picture of the classic controllers that I have for the systems. And I was like, she was like, oh my God, the nostalgia is so strong. And I'm like, yeah, I love my horror / gamer room. And she was like, yeah, I've seen different things in your pictures. And and I said to myself, I'm so happy he still does that. And that made me really happy because I hadn't. And I almost started to go into it, but it was like a Snapchat conversation. So it was like, I'm not going to go real deep. But people like Grace and Jenny and my husband and Tanira, you know, I got to say Ryan. I can't just say my husband. There was the Ryan out there. You guys really gave me this safe space and like genuinely are into certain things that I'm into. Even if it's not fully in one way or another, we connect differently. So like, that's kind of been my saving grace and how I've dealt with a lot in my life. But Grace, you are into, we've talked about this before, like the Wicca and tarot and that, but you like horror, but in a different way. How would you explain your relationship with horror after the first year of doing this with me?
I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, that you could like side by side this question from the first episode, because I'm pretty sure we had this exact same question in that episode.
Yes.
It's definitely. Hold on. I made notes for myself. There's like a peacefulness that you get from seeing horror or reading horror or just like however you're consuming horror. It's you have like the own real life horrors of your life, and then you have media horror which you can mindlessly consume, and it's so much worse than what you're going through. And to me, in some ways, it's like dark humor in a way. I definitely am one of those people that laughs at inappropriate moments, but it's escapism, and it's a pure and undiluted form of it. Like there's nothing bad about liking horror, and there's nothing bad about using it to escape the horrors of your everyday life.
I agree. Same question for you, Miss Jenny. How would you describe your relationship with horror?
I really like what you said, Grace. And I was thinking about this last night because I think my relationship with horror is maybe like a little darker, not so much escapism, but kind of the same. Like I like to watch horror when I'm feeling kind of depressed. So last night I sat in bed and watched like 2 or 3 horror movies back to back just because I was feeling really down. And it's one, because you see these people who are running for their lives and you're like, well, I'm in bed, so I should, be happier than this person who's about to be horribly murdered. But also I find horror to be the one genre that is so gripping and so like engaging that I don't scroll on my phone mindlessly. I get completely out of my own head and I am there, and my heartbeat quickens during like when someone's hiding or running away. And it's a great way when I'm feeling completely nothing, like the nothing sad depression. It's the weirdest way to kind of like engage with my soul, because that, natural human fear, fight or flight will still kick in for me. Whereas there's a lot of other things that won't. And I'm just, empty. So that's not the nicest answer, I guess, but that's my answer for that.
But I think it's appreciated to hear that, because I have been, immersing myself in communities like on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, but really TikTok. And I have a lot of TikTok friends, I guess you would call them. And I don't mean that like the air quotes to be a disrespect. I don't know them outside of their 30-second contents, but we like each other's posts, we comment and we say things. But there are some people that, escape because of that same thing, and we feel alone. And you saying that is going to help somebody else feel like that's okay too. You know what I mean? Like, that's really why I started this entire podcast. There are hundreds of horror movie review podcasts, hundreds. And, you know, all I'm not offering to be better than anyone. What I'm offering is a safe space for people that connect to me and my guests and are enjoying the company. I'm not trying to rise on the charts, but I want to, my goal is to be real. And I want my guests to be real and feel comfortable being real and sharing that with the world, because the world is cruel. But I appreciate you being real and honest with that, because it's true, especially with horror. And like you said, horror is one of those genres, but I think also horror can incorporate so many subgenres within just horror, like horror comedy and romance. And there's a bunch of stuff that can still, like, you ever watch a horror comedy and you still get a jump scare out of it and you're like, fuck, how did this happen? You know what I mean? Like, it still has certain elements to it.
Or I'm thinking of, did you ever see Hereditary? I think that's just the one scary movie where I like bawled crying in the middle of it. And then later you're like terrified. And you're like, how am I experiencing all these emotions?
Yes. Did you see Hereditary, Grace?
I did not.
Oh, you have to come over. It's about like witchcraft and shit.
Okay.
But like,
great, I'm in.
dark, crazy shit. But like the scene with the fucking telephone pole, we're not going to spoil it for you.
Okay.
And the clucking, the sound of the tongue, like there's certain. It's a very well made horror movie, and I cannot remember the actress's name, but she's so like amazing in it. Yes,
Toni Collette
she's amazing.
Is shit. She's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Big
We got
fan.
so much to watch this year, girls. What? All right, so I've been wanting to ask this question, and now that I have an audience of people sitting across from me, kind of. What is your favorite? Because I've been thinking about this, and I might also ask like social media, but like, what is your favorite non-horror scary movie? Does that make sense? Like, what is a movie that's not supposed to be scary, but kind of was like scares you a little bit? While you think, I have a couple that came to mind for me. Like, the first time I can think of, and I've said this before on my podcast, when I was a kid, was The Addams Family. Like, I know it falls into the horror genre, but I don't know. The Family freaked me out when I was a kid. But also a couple like Disney movies are a little scary, aren't they? Like, a few of them are just. Jen, you sent me an Instagram that Bambi is one of the top scariest horror movies of all time or something, right? Can you elaborate on that?
Top 25 or something, like horror movies of all time, like most popular. Because for whatever reason, Bambi is listed as a horror movie.
It's the murder of the mother.
It is.
It's gotta
they
be,
showed
right?
that clip to justify it on this.
Did they?
So they were like, because you know this part, and they're like, yeah, but do you remember the song with like the bunnies and the skunk and the flowers? And okay,
I like Thumper. He was fun.
Thumper was.
I don't remember who. I only seen Bambi a handful of times. It wasn't one of my favorites. I grew up and my favorites were like Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. Those are my Disney
I was
go-tos.
kind of an off-brand kid. I did the Swan Princess and Thumbelina.
I like the Swan Princess and Thumbelina. They were good too. Did you watch Disney, Grace, up there?
I have seen Disney movies. I am not a Disney fan.
Oh, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could go on a rant for days about why I don't condone Disney, but
yeah,
I won't
there's their own
subject
horrors,
anyone
right?
to that. That's a real life horror.
So, what is your favorite? Let's do a classic Screamline. What is your favorite scary movie? To both of you. That's a tough question. I think I'm safe when I just say Halloween, but it really is. But I don't know if Halloween is my favorite scary movie or if Michael Myers is my favorite or villain?
That's a good one.
No.
Mine is The Battery. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's
I've never
like
heard
a
of this.
zombie movie. It's so good. It's like an indie movie, which is partially why I like it. Because the cast
Interesting.
is like 7 people, and they said that the budget was like $14,000 or something ridiculous, and the majority of that was spent on like coffee for everyone. It's like
Okay.
pretty low budget, but I appreciate the fact that it's a zombie movie, like it's a scary movie, but it's like offbeat and not really about the zombies at all.
So you
And
do.
I think they say the word zombie like one time. It's a good one. It's fun.
You have so many obscure horror movies that you've seen that I have never seen. Grace, we're going to take notes. Can you tell the story to our listeners and viewers of that fucking horror movie that you told me about with the lady that was constantly getting raped? Do you know what I'm talking about? You said that she was like,
me, or
it was you, Jen. You said something. There was like a
the
movie.
deaf woman.
Yeah.
Or she was.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so horrible, like both objectively as a movie, but also horrible to watch. It was like this woman who was mute, trying to live her life, and because she was mute, like people didn't like respect her, like give her the time of day, and she's walking home with groceries, and she gets raped on the way home, and then like enters her apartment, and then there's a different guy there who then rapes her, and then she like decides to be a vigilante and like murders a bunch of men, but like none of the men that raped her. I don't remember specifically, but it was the worst.
Grace's
And like
face.
she had 0 lines because she was mute, but they really didn't try and develop her in any way as a person. And it was
This
just
is a foreign film, right?
no, it was American. It was from the 80s, and it was just the worst thing I've ever seen. And honestly, there was a scene where I thought they were gonna like break out into dance and sing. It was just the weirdest. I don't know.
I thought Grace would appreciate that story.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be able to stomach watching that, but the fact that you watched it and gave us the play-by-play is appreciated. And sometimes I have my things that I will watch and text my friends the play-by-plays, as we have all seen. So I appreciate hearing about it, but I will never watch that. Oh my God.
No, but you watched Lemon Horror, didn't you?
I did. I watched Lemon Whores for you guys, and I gave you the play-by-play.
And that, by the way, listeners, is not a horror. I mean, I don't think it's a horror movie. It's a horror porno.
It was
No.
objectively horrifying to watch, but
So, I'm going to just go past that. Grace, did you come up with your favorite horror movie yet? We have Jenny's least favorite.
you're throwing us all these questions like
Just boom, boom, boom.
yeah, I don't know how to handle it.
I had a lot of coffee and I'm drinking tea now. I'm just like fucking wired.
He is fucking wired. I don't know that I could tell you my favorite horror movie off the top of my head. Like I don't.
Okay, so what's your favorite horror subgenre?
Dark,
Going easy.
gritty, like if DC made good movies and they were horror themed, like the.
Okay.
That's what I like. I like a really good storyline. I love revenge. We love vengeance.
Yes.
And I love a strong female lead. So
Okay.
those are my pre-qualifiers.
All right. So, did you guys look at the list that I sent you? I'm going to move on to the 2022 horror because there's quite a few. I found a link that I sent the two of you from Rotten Tomatoes, which we all know I love Rotten Tomatoes and hate Rotten Tomatoes, but I give their ratings every time I do a review. So I was like, this is fitting for the 1-year anniversary episode. they did the top horror of 2022 and they rated it, and there were like 95 on that list. And this is embarrassing for me. I've only seen 13. I've heard of more, but I've only seen 13. But I'm going to chalk it up to being like a new year or something stupid. I don't know. But I saw 13. Did anyone else look at the list and know how many they saw? Or
I saw 2.
yay, everyone clap for Grace. Yay. Jenny, you've seen a few more.
I honestly, I didn't look all the way down because it was on my phone. So I got to like the 35th one and was like, all right.
Well, there's 3 on here that I saw with you. So I know for a fact you've seen 3.
Yeah.
Ha.
So
take that.
I'm going to name the 3 or the 13 that I saw, and then we can touch on a few of them as we go. Because I know that some of you have seen, Grace, you probably heard of, and there's probably going to be some storyline behind them. So I'm going to go in the order that they were listed. No rhyme or reason behind my list. But number 1 was Barbarian. Me and Jenny watched Barbarian with Ryan, and have you heard of Barbarian, Grace?
I haven't heard of it, but I saw it on the list and I really want to see it. It was definitely put on, like, I really want to see this.
Okay. So me and Jenny are now going to describe spoiler-free ways of Barbarian. I'm going to see who describes it. We're going to do it separately. I'm going to let you go first, Jenny. How would you describe Barbarian spoiler-free?
It's a movie with a lot of social commentary about, like, Me Too and toxic masculinity, I think. Or not so much toxic masculinity, but like that dude that everyone knows that is a douchebag and thinks that he is God's gift and everyone should accommodate him in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that toxic masculinity or just douchey man? I don't know.
I think it was more like, fame, thinking that you're privileged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's also probably toxic masculinity too. I think that's the same. I would describe
I don't know
Barbarian.
how to give any other information without it being a spoiler, so I will.
Everything that you think the movie's about, it's not about.
That's
It's
good
a
one.
trap to get you to watch it. But it's a good trap. And now I'm just going to end with saying, Papa.
Okay.
She knows what I'm talking about.
I thought it was boop.
No, it was. Remember the Bob? All right, we can't get into it. We can't. We'll have to talk later. There was a boop too. There was a boop. The second movie on the list, I know for a fact that you neither have seen it yet, but I've talked to, I think, individually both of you about it. The Sadness. I think it was a Chinese or an Asian film that was on Shudder, and it's subtitled. It's like the zombie outbreak movie that I was so gory. It's like the goriest film ever. That was a culture shock for me. Jenny, you still need to see this.
Like, about that one, didn't you?
I did a review on it, yeah, and it just fucks my head up because I said it to you guys before, and I said it on the episode, watching another culture do horror is very different than American horror. The things that are scary, the language that they use, the everything that they use is not what you Americans would do. Like, not everything is the same, and it was very different. And I believe, Grace, you explained to me, like, the taboo or something. Someone had said something about the sexualization in Asian men and women.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting because there's a lot of rape between man on man, man and woman. Like, it was very gory. Highly recommend the movie, though. It's like, it is its own category of zombie in my way. Like, very different. I think that you both would like it very much. It's very disturbing. And the language is very weird, but I think you should watch it. The next one on the list is Watcher, which I did also see, and I again think that both of you should definitely watch it. It's on Shudder again. I think it's also on AMC Plus if you have AMC, or just I'll send you my logins and you can watch them, or just come over and we'll do a viewing party. Watcher is the type of horror movie where it's a girl and her husband that moved to another country, and I don't remember what country it is, but she feels that she's being watched by a neighbor across from another building. And the entire movie is a mind fuck. Like, is she watching him? Is he actually watching her? What is really going on here? Is she paranoid? Is she, you know what I mean? Like, you don't really know. You question so much going out in that movie. And there is an answer at the end, but it's such a roller coaster, and it's really a psychological horror and a real life one. You know what I mean? Like, I like the real life horror situations as well. Like, it's nice to watch like the Michaels and stuff where, the killer never dies and it's so, hero over villains. But to watch like a movie about an American couple that moved to another country and things like the themes that go along with that are very unnerving, because you can relate, like moving somewhere, not knowing the language and trying to understand. Like, it's a very good movie. So I think that you both would like that movie. I saw that one. After that was The Black Phone. We saw that in the theaters, me and Jen and Ryan. Did you see The Black Phone, Grace?
No, I didn't.
All right, Jen, I'm gonna let you take this one. How would you describe The Black Phone? And did you like The Black Phone?
I did like it. It was, I think, not what I think of when I think of a scary movie. It had a lot of, quiet, still moments. There's not really that many jump scares. No one's like hiding. It wasn't like a mystery
Slasher.
in the sense you generally think of it when like who did it kind of thing. There's a little bit of that, but you knew who was doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was a little boy was abducted by someone who had previously killed lots of little boys, and you're like rooting for him to get out. And his little sister is looking for him as well on the outside. And
It was very violent.
The important part, right? The black phone part is in the room
Yes.
he's being held in is a black phone, and he can speak to and hear from the previous victims who are trying to help him. So it is, yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Your facial expression, Grace, I think is great.
Appropriate. It's a real life situation with a supernatural twist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And-
exactly. So not what you think of when you think of a scary movie.
And it was set in the 80s, 70s or 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's like not modern day times. So like no cell phones, no things like that. Alcoholic father. Like, it is a really good movie. Ethan Hawke stars in it as the villain. So very well done. And he has like different weird masks.
Yeah.
The masks are fucking weird. But the one scene was really violent with the sister. This is not a spoiler, but they get into like a schoolyard fight and she like
Oh, yeah.
fucking bricks somebody or something, right? Like,
Oh, shit.
and then she gets hit with something and they're just sitting against the fence bleeding, and then they go to class. I don't know what was happening there.
It was really weird. And I don't even really think it was super vital to the story. It
It
was
had nothing to do with the story. They just wanted to show some kids like
They're like,
getting
just so you
fucking
know,
beat up.
this sister is willing to throw fucking hands.
Basically, yes, that was really what it was about, to be honest. The next movie I just watched, finally, Smile.
I saw that you did some posts about that.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I just heard about it for the first time on Wednesday,
Oh, wow.
and I really want to see it.
Oh, my God. You both need to see it. Such a good movie. And people liked it or didn't like it, similar to like the Halloween thing. But they were like, on my post, people were like, the ending is so predictable. And I'm like, I didn't think it was predictable. For me, I didn't think it was predictable. Because it's not what I thought was going to happen. So obviously it wasn't predictable to me. But fucking weird. Like, it's a horror movie that, without giving out spoilers, like it's what horror, the type of horror that I like. It doesn't give you an explanation behind the antagonist. Like, I hate when horror goes too far into backstories of how, like, why things are happening. They don't really do that with Smile. And it's so fucking creepy. But what I love most is the element that is the theme of trauma is what it's about. It's about a psychiatrist who, is dealing with, the patient. Obviously, we know it starts somewhere. The patient comes to her and kills herself in front of her. So we find out that it's like trauma being passed on from person to person. And so there's a supernatural being that feeds off of people's trauma in order to jump from person to person. Like, it's a weird thing, but it's a really good movie. And I think that it's a good horror, but it's a little bit elevated, not to the extent of like Hereditary or anything, but it's very well done, I think. And the star is Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Is that who that was? I was
Yeah.
like, who is this woman?
Yeah, she's got the face, like you can't figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not good with anyone's fucking names. I really need to pay attention. But definitely both watch that. I think it's, what the hell is it streaming on? Paramount Plus.
Mhm.
After that was last year's Scream movie, Scream 5, the fifth in the franchise. Did either of you see Scream?
Nope.
God, have you seen the old Screams?
Nope.
Oh, you see him behind me? There he is. There he is.
Like, obviously, like, Scream is like a staple of horror. Like, everybody knows who he is. But no, I can't tell you that I've ever sat through a whole Scream movie.
Okay, that's Ryan's favorite franchise. Is Scream.
I'm doing
He
my bestie wrong.
loves Scream. So it's so good because Ghostface is a persona. In every movie, it's different people. Like, it's not one person all the time. And it's just like it's a major whodunit horror film with, you know what I mean? It's just, it's so fresh. It's fun. It was the original 3 were Wes Craven, and the original 4 were Wes Craven until he died. And then they did Scream 5 and it was all right. Scream 6 comes out in 2023, which we'll talk about in the 2023s. But yeah, it was good. It was good. There were elements I thought could have been better. Yeah, we'll watch Screams together. We'll do a Scream marathon, ladies.
Oof.
Even if we have to do like a viewing party somewhere, or like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. The next one on the list is the Hellraiser remake. Did anyone see the Hellraiser remake?
I did.
Yay, we got one for Grace. All right, we're going to let Grace describe Hellraiser remake. Go.
Oh man. Woman complains about Puzzle Box, has Puzzle Box, will not get rid of Puzzle Box, will not stop fucking with Puzzle Box, keeps unlocking Puzzle Box. Jamie Clayton,
Jamie
a beautiful, beautiful pinhead.
I mean, that's perfect. I love that. I love your description. We're putting that on something.
Okay, all right, yes. Just end it with Jamie Clayton, beautiful pinhead.
That was such controversy because Pinhead was a man and people were so mad.
Pinhead is not a man or a woman.
It's not. It is not. It is a supernatural being that was Clive Barker, who was a gay man who was like into S&M and shit. Like, his books were twisted and dark, and I think that it was described to have a feminine voice. Like, you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
People lost their minds about this fucking girl being Pinhead. She did good.
She did really well. There was a lot of things that I didn't like about the Hellraiser, but there was a lot of things that I did really like about Hellraiser. So all in all, it was like, I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I've seen it once. Again, I had COVID again. What the fuck is happening with me and COVID?
You gotta stop socializing.
I watched it with my niece and my sister during the weekend that I had my podcasting in my town where I had the tent and the pop-up.
Right.
And that was super fun that I got to do that and meet a lot of people. I was sick, took 2 COVID tests. They were negative. And so I was like, fuck it, I don't have COVID. Took them home on Sunday and was like, my husband tested positive, so he was locked up. And then I came home and he was like, just take one more. I'm like, fine. And I was positive. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Oh, hello, we have a guest star.
Steven.
Oh, Inspector
Hello, Steve. Everyone say hi to Steve. He said, kiss my ass. But yeah, COVID. Fun times. After that, okay, this was on the list and I thought this was fun. Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah.
Did we all see Hocus Pocus 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have a little bit of a conversation time. What do we thought? Okay, I'm done talking. Go ahead, take it over, girls.
I thought it was adorable. It was.
Well-
I definitely wouldn't call it horror, but it was so cute, and it was really nice to like have those 3 back together, and like they're up to their antics, and like ultimately
On a
you know,
Roomba.
no spoilers, but it was adorable. It was very cute.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I thought my favorite part was the emphasis of female empowerment and sisterhood, and that was different than they really took the Sanderson sisters from being these evil villains and gave them a reason and then showed them change of pace. What did you think, Jenny?
I like the movie as a standalone. I will say that what I was expecting of Hocus Pocus 2, I was kind of disappointed because one of the things that made Hocus Pocus so scary to me as a kid was that there was no reason. They're trying to like murder and eat a billion million children. It's actually weirdly violent. Like they try and set them on fire in a kiln. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
dark.
That's also
And weirdly,
1993.
Yeah. I liked
1993
how dark
kids
it
movies.
was. And then the new one was like pretty upbeat and like inspirational, and it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But not what I was expecting when I turned it on. So I was a little bit
Yeah.
bummed that it wasn't continuing that.
It wasn't just violent decapitation of witches and
Yeah.
humans.
I was like, I want to see, and I wanted Binks. I wanted Binks back. Steve,
Yeah.
that's why he's over here.
He's here. He's like, oh, I got this one. I know this one. The next one was Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which came out on Netflix. Did anybody watch that? It's
No.
with Donald Sutherland and the kid from the Stephen King's It movie. The movies. I was disappointed in it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like maybe I need to rewatch it because like even right now, set in the early 2000s with an iPhone, but it's not. I don't know. It didn't do it for me, and it was based off of a Stephen King novella. And I'm thinking maybe it's one of those instances where it couldn't transition to film. Like it's probably a great little read, but just didn't make it for me. For me, it didn't make it. After that was Halloween Ends. We talked briefly on this. I'm going to say it's the most, like I said, the most divisive film of 2022. And Grace has not seen it, so we're not going to tell you how Halloween ends. The one thing that pisses me off, and this to you guys, the community, okay, if you're out there listening, what bothered me is the amount of comments that I saw. They're like, it's not over. I bet this isn't the last one. And like, who? Duh. We fucking know that. What part of this is the end of the David Gordon Green trilogy? Don't you understand? Like, this is the end of this person's story. It has nothing to do with the fact that if somebody went to pick up and make another Halloween movie, it has nothing to do with them. That's a whole different thing. This is his ending to his trilogy. Like, I don't understand why people were so confused by that. I just needed to rant. for a moment on that.
Totally fine.
Doesn't
No, I
that piss you off?
Well, like with the nature of Halloween, like he dies all of the time and then comes back, and no one's complained about that. But so for them to not make that connection is very odd. But
They're mad that it's called Halloween Ends.
yeah.
Like, maybe it fucking will. We don't fucking know. But I mean, it's Halloween is always going to make money. People are going to be so mad about it. But if somebody was like, next year, we're making a Halloween 2 sequel and we're erasing all the other Halloweens, I'm going to fucking be there. And everyone else that likes Michael Myers is going to fucking be there too. Let's be honest. Like, as long as they're making money, they're making Michael Myers movies. And I'm down for it. I want to be going at 75 years old, like, I want to go see Michael Myers.
It's like Batman and Spider-Man, right? Like, how many different times can we tell the same story?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to watch it.
Yes. What? That's a good example. What would be your example of a movie? Like, let's take away like the Ghostface and Freddy's and all that. What do you think is done over and over again? Witches?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it a million different ways, and it's still, something new to see every time. But I feel like any sort of like Stephen King movie, they can remake it over and over and over again. Like, I watched the 2 new It movies that they came out with. I thought they were hilarious in comparison to the originals.
Thank you. Did you saw them, Jenny?
Just the
Okay.
one.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that CGI shit? They didn't need it. We did not need that. There's enough special effects and makeup. We did not need that lady running naked, looking like she's 8 feet tall. Like, and she looked computerized.
Mm-hmm.
So did the disease-ridden man. What the fuck are they called? The guy that the kid was scared of the germs, and there was a germ guy, and he looked fake too.
Yeah.
It bothered me.
Yeah.
It bothered me. But I thought they were good movies. But aside from the CGI, like that was,
Yes.
and it was funny too.
It was.
Like-
I caught myself cackling a couple of times.
Yes. Like, you want a balloon? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
No.
especially like I love to see new takes on old Stephen King, and I just love Stephen King in general. I have so many of his books.
I only have 10. I just brought my books down from upstairs and put them in my room here with my little Stephen King Funko Pop that I have. And some of them my sister stole from me, and I keep telling her, and she's like, they're in my closet. I said, well, get them the fuck out and bring them over to my house. Like, I don't understand, like, why that's an excuse. Like, I'm collecting my Stephen King books, and I hope she don't listen to this podcast, so fuck her. No. I lost my train of thought. But yes, the Halloween Ends. We're moving on. Here's another one. This shit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think anyone's seen the new one besides me. Did you watch it, Jenny?
I don't.
It came out like obviously in 2022 on Netflix.
I don't think
Oh
so.
God. It was so stupid. It looked like they tried to rip off 2018's Halloween, where they brought Laurie back and it was the direct sequel to the original. And it could have been a ripoff and still well done. It just wasn't. It was just a bad movie in my opinion.
I think I did see this. It's where they immediately go down into the basement and it picks up. They're like, what happened here?
It's like, no, he's living in an old age fucking home with some lady, and he kills a bunch of fucking new age.
Yes. They come
On
in
the
on
bus?
a bus and they try and like redo
Yes.
the town. Yeah, I did see that one.
Gentrification and shit.
Mm-hmm. Real.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I did like how they really packed in the gore in just like the one.
In the one scene on the bus.
Yeah.
Everyone loved the bus scene. Just getting fucking chainsawed left and right. If you're into the gore, it's a great scene. I'm just like, what the fuck is this Leatherface's old age fucking home for psychopaths? Like, what is going on? Like, he's been living upstairs, retired with some old woman, and then she dies because they're trying to take her house, and now he's pissed off, so he pulls his chainsaw out the fucking wall and goes crazy on the kids.
I like the logical inconsistencies of that movie just really bothered me.
And they brought the woman back from part one. It was a different actress, but like Sally, and like it made no sense.
But like even the like murders were like, I don't.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like the bus scene. No one opened the big windows to get out or the emergency door. They all just
You have a
stood there.
78-year-old handicapped man with a chainsaw, and there's 25 of you. Tackle him.
You are surrounding him, and you're all just like, "Oh no!" I'm in half now. Darn.
Like, as soon as he goes like this, hit him. Somebody do something. That's what I mean. Like, it was just a little like everyone's panicked. To be fair, though, I don't do chainsaws. I'd be one of the people on the.
You know, I would punch him.
Jenny would punch him. Jenny would go to punch him, and her arm will be chopped off. Grace would never be there.
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving the house. So unless he's coming to me, it's not happening.
Grace is just like, sorry.
Ooh, sorry I couldn't come on your bus trip.
Yeah. You know what, Hart? I have a question after I'm done this list for the two of you. Don't let me forget. It's my 18th question for you guys. My 18th unanswered question. After that was this movie called The Cellar, which is on Shudder. Interesting. Good movie. If you have Shudder, check it out. The girl that played in the show 24, if anyone's watched 24, she was the daughter, Kim or whatever. She stars in it. She's got brown hair. Interesting take on the devil and alternate dimensions and things like that. Pretty well done. And that's all I'll say on that. And then the last one on the list is called Choose or Die, which I thought was fun. And it's a video game based horror movie. So did anyone see that? Either of those?
No, but it kept being suggested to me on Netflix. So now
Yes. So Choose or Die was super fun. It's not like the best made movie, but it's like this kid who's like a tech geek, is like repairs old systems and stuff. They have this old video game they find and they start playing it. It's called Choose or Die. But what happens is, obviously, you have to choose or someone dies. Like the game becomes like reality or something. So like, it's like the girl's at a coffee shop and she's like, do you want more coffee? She's like, and then the waitress comes up and is like, do you want more coffee? And she has to hit like yes or no. And then it's like, when she's not answering certain things, it was like, does the waitress slit her throat or hang herself? Something stupid like that. Not stupid, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to make these like crazy decisions. And this lady's like gashing her eye out with glass or something. Like, crazy. It's a good movie. It's a decent horror movie. And that is the 13 movies of 2022 that I saw, and I love that I'm ending the year with 13. It's my favorite number. It's my favorite number. Before we move on to upcoming movies of 2023, I didn't want to forget the question, but I thought it was fun. Because now, if you were in a horror movie, what kind of horror movie would you be in? I already know what Grace would be in. I'm going to place you. Grace would be like the main character in like a Grudge or a Ring movie.
Main character as in like main big bad or like
No.
strong female lead?
The strong female lead.
Okay. All right. I'll allow it.
Like Grace will be like in Japan and stumble across an ancient fucking curse. And like, I see it. Jenny, not so hard. Jenny, I feel like you would be, for me, I would place you in the new age female lead horror movies like Happy Death Day.
Yes. That'd be fun. I also like the murder mystery ones where you're like trying to figure out who's doing all the murdering.
Like Happy Death Day. Yeah. Did you see Happy Death Day, Grace?
No, I didn't.
You got so many movies.
I know. I'm behind. It's been a rough year.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I'd classify what kind of movie. I would just probably go with a classic slasher. That's what I know the most.
I feel like you'd be like in Scream, the like one guy that was like, wait, no, this is just a classic scary movie trope. We can't do this.
Yeah, that would be me. That would be me.
Yes, 100%.
Just fucking say to split up, you dumb whore.
Yeah.
No.
No. I'd be the guy that's like trying to like decipher everything like fucking Randy and end up getting cut up. I'd be the guy that dies in the horror movie that people don't want to die in the horror. Because it's like a fine line of being the asshole in the horror movie that you want to die. I don't want to be that one.
No.
But if you're going to be in a horror movie, if I'm not going to be the lead character, I want to have a great fucking death.
Yes.
What would you
Like,
choose, though?
how would I die in a horror movie? Not stupid. I want to be like, oh, that's realistic. You know what I mean? Like, he tried. Like,
I feel like panicked car accident or
like you're escaping and the killer's in the back seat kind of thing.
yeah. And there's like still like a hefty struggle, but then like you crash into the guardrail and
Yeah.
drive over a cliff or something. The killer has like a parachute and just
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want a fight to the death thing. Like, I want to be fucking fighting and like not survive, but like, damn, like, yeah, I got some hits in.
yeah.
How about you, Jen?
That's exactly what I want as well. I would want to be
You
the
wanna
person
fight.
that like kind of lays a trap and then feels like they got them and then comes out and then then I'd probably still die. I mean, like my arms. Look at that. I'm not. No one.
It's never about the strength. It's about the cunning, right?
Mhm.
I feel like I could do the cutting, but then I'd be the person that stabs them like one too few times and they still get up and then murder me, or like
Yeah.
you choke them
Don't
out,
be
but they're not dead yet, and then
the Laurie Strode where like you stab him and then you drop the knife.
yeah,
We're done.
be like, oh, I did it, and then it's like
Yes. I give him a paper cut. We're done. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, great year for horror. Great year for us. Before we move on, like, let's take a minute and like reflect. We're gonna do an in memoriam. I'm just kidding. We're not doing it. I'm just kidding. But no. I do want to take a moment though, just before we talk about the new year. Again, saying thank you for like all your support. Like both of you have done multiple episodes with me, and that's why it was very important that you guys come on this one with me. Jenny's a goddamn introducer. You like my word?
Yeah, it still
Jenny's-
makes me cringe every time I hear it. I'm like,
It's become a thing with me and Ryan throughout my house. Somebody will say hello, and it'll sound like Jenny, and they're like, hello, and welcome to the horror within. And we do it to each other all the time. I think I should pin it to the top of my TikTok page. I'm gonna pin the video, like the video podcast opening. I pinned it. It's my channel trailer for YouTube. It's got over 140 fucking views. It's so weird. It's got a couple likes. Somebody disliked it though. I'm like, fuck you. But yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on video now, we're on TikTok, and we have a website, and we have fucking spooky shakers that Jenny made, which are so fucking good. And I only did the virgin one, so I can only imagine the alcoholic ones.
I need
This
to
whole
send you.
brand.
I have a few that I haven't sent you. I haven't sent you some in a while. I apologize.
Well, I haven't put the other ones up because we need to do like a photo shoot. So I've been waiting for a time to collaborate and think of how we want to do it, and then just put them all on at once. I still haven't gotten the goddamn pictures of the other ones up yet. My husband, the web designer, hasn't helped me yet. I know he can hear me. Hello, Ryan. But yeah, I've got this great community, like digitally, but like also personally with you guys and everyone. And it's so like honestly, like be all sentimental for a second. Like I honestly, truly, like thank you both so much for like all of the support. Like you've really boosted me up and boost the show to everyone and to being here. And even if it's, like I said, it's just a hangout, and I have people that come up to me because sometimes it is very difficult to get lost in the digital world when other people are doing things that are similar to you. Hello, it's the other cat. I have ADHD.
Sorry.
Peaches. It is hard to get lost and think of how people are being so successful in things. And I'm not really, but then I'm like, what am I measuring success as?
Mm-hmm.
And what am I doing this for? Because I'm not doing this. Like, I feel like people think like, not people, me. I think that I have to think like other people, and that if I'm doing a podcast, I have to do it to gain money and make money and have like all these people. And that's not what I do it for. And I built a small community in a year. And let's be honest, like less than a year, because I took months off. And I have a Facebook group, and I got a new member that joined today that just joined. I have people that comment and we collaborate and we talk. I had my first ever celebrity guest from Night of the Demons this year, which was a dream come true. I have a guest that reached out to me on Instagram that is going to be doing an episode with me in January. He's a horror writer. So it is what I want it to be. So I feel like my first year, I did what I set out to do, and I put myself out there and my trauma and my love for horror, and bring it together with two amazing people that I met through my husband, but we built a sub relationship within our horror likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my little rant. Thank you to Grace and Jenny and everyone else. But definitely, thank you. Moving on to 2023. I'm going to go very quickly down the list of my top movies that I'm most excited about and see if any of them match with the two of you. I'm going to read them. I have 12. These are the movies that I saw on ScreenRant.com of all the horror movies coming out. And these are the ones I'm most excited about. That doesn't mean I'm not going to see other ones. Number 1 is Megan. I want to see Megan just because of the fucking dance. I want to see the stupid dance again and again and again. Number 2 is Knock at the Cabin. Number 3 is Number 3 is Scream 6. Number 4 is Evil Dead Rise. Number 5 is Insidious 5. Number 6 is The Haunted Mansion, which they're making a new one.
Yes.
Number 7 is The Nun 2. Number 8 is The Exorcist. Number 9 is Saw 10. Number 10 is Salem's Lot. Number 11 is The Strangers. And number 12 is The Boogeyman. Those are my tops. Are any of them your tops?
Yes.
Tops? Verse? Maybe? Bottom?
Yeah, so I, first of all, I'm kind of offended that The Last Voyage of Demeter is not on your top list.
Sorry,
Because
I don't know what that is.
Dracula plus pirates. Come on.
Oh. Okay. Well, the pirates thing, I'm not a pirate person. I don't know why. RR. Right?
I was and I wasn't, and then I watched Our Flag Means Death, and now like I'm only pirates now. So
okay.
Everything else is garbage. But
the next video podcast we do, I need a fucking eye patch.
Yeah.
On you.
Yep. It's only pirates from now on.
And a wooden leg.
So The Last Voyage of Demeter, Knock at the Cabin, The Haunted Mansion, The Exorcist, Salem's Lot, Dark Harvest, and The Boogeyman are all the ones I put on my list.
Nice. I'm so fucking excited for The Exorcist.
Yes. I had no idea
excited.
that they were remaking it, and I'm so stoked about it.
Why do I keep my hands like this? Like the guy that did the Halloween trilogy is doing the trilogy for The Exorcist.
Oh, it's going to be a trilogy?
Yeah, they're doing 3 again. 3 movies.
I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm stoked.
David Gordon Green. So people didn't like the way he ended Halloween. They're probably not going to like the way he ends The Exorcist either.
Well.
But did you know that the mother from the original Exorcist is a cameo in the new one?
Is she? I love it
Chris
when they
Chris
do that.
McNeil So basically what I heard of is the story I'm going to be following closely for this. Like this is my probably most anticipated horror movie of 2023 that I'm most excited about.
Mhm.
Is a father's son is possessed, so he reaches out to her because of what her family went through. I haven't heard anything about Reagan. I haven't heard anything about that actress Linda Blair being in it, but I'm very interested in how they're going to do it because since The Exorcist, there have been so many possession movies that have tried to take a play on it that it's going to be an extremely difficult task to make an Exorcist movie
Yes.
that ties in well.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how that's going to be. How about you, Jen? What's your most anticipated movie of 2023?
I don't know if I have a most one. But I definitely agree with a lot of the ones you said. I do want to see Megan, which is weird. Like, I don't think I want to see it because I'm excited to see it. I want to watch it because I want to make fun of it because it seems ridiculous. But I do want to see The Nun too.
Yes.
That.
I mean, I do want to see it, but I don't know if I'm going to like it. Did you like the first Nun? Did you guys see both of them?
I think that franchise is one that I will legitimately be scared when I watch those movies.
Yes, I love the Conjuring universe. Love it.
Yeah. They do it really well.
Yeah, it is very well. Insidious was a great franchise that I fell off of. And I need to start it all over again now.
Yeah. I don't know.
That first one scared me.
It was when they introduced Darth Maul in the middle of it, and I was like, this is dumb.
Yes.
He scared the shit out of me up there in the fucking little window thing. And those people in the other universe, they're like...
Well, they were scary, but as soon as it
scared the shit out of me.
Darth Maul is here, I was like, okay.
I watched the first one. That's the only Insidious movie I've seen. And as soon as that motherfucker popped up behind the person's shoulder, I was uncontrollable laughing.
Oh my God, I was terrified of that movie. And him. I don't know. But is that a Star Wars reference?
Yes.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah. It's I was watching with a friend of mine and he was like crying. He was so scared. And I was on the floor, like gasping for air because I was laughing.
Well, we have to watch them all. We have to watch them all again. They're fucking scary to me. No.
All right. Well, you know like what? I will be here for your comedic relief next time.
Yes. That's true. But I'm sure he's still going to be in it.
I hope not.
What else did we say? So Evil Dead Rise. I am determined to be an Evil Dead fan. Okay. It is such a iconic horror franchise, and I feel like that little kid that feels left out, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh, Evil Dead. I'm like, I don't know Evil Dead. And I want to be involved and I want to be included with your fucking group. So I'm going to make it a mission to watch all the Evil Dead movies. That's my little rant. Have you guys seen any Evil Dead?
Nope.
The Necronomicon or whatever?
Bits and pieces, and I didn't find them particularly engaging, which is weird. And just like kind of spoofy, but not really. I don't know.
I mean, I saw the remake in 2013 or whatever, which was all right, but I gotta watch them all. I gotta watch all of them. I'm gonna be a fan. I also am. The second one I'm most excited about is the Strangers trilogy coming out. So, The Strangers was that movie with Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, where the three strangers knock on the door, and the home invasion movie came out in 2008. I did an episode on it. You've never seen The Strangers, either of you?
I haven't, but I've always wanted to see it. But it's one of those movies that like it's horrifying to me because it could really happen.
It is amazing and it is terrifying. And can we plan that? Because I really want to watch it with Ryan.
Okay. Yep.
But he's like, no. So I'm gonna be like, Grace and Jenny are coming over. We're gonna watch.
You're gonna have to strap us all in.
No, it's so So good. There was a sequel to Strangers Prey at Night, which was good. It was scary in its own right, but it was a different kind of scary. But anyway, they're making a trilogy. I'm very excited to see how they're going to do it. I love like I said, the real horrors. I always think like that really gets me. I sometimes put myself in these situations, and like Jen, you can understand, where I'll watch something like that and then be afraid at home. Like I'd be like, what? I have to go to the bathroom. But he's downstairs. I know it. You know, like, or like I'm that kid. Like I love horror, but I also have scarred myself because I still refuse to let any of my fucking limbs hang off the bed or be exposed at night. Like I don't do that shit. Every night, if my hand is like falls behind the bed, I pick it back up because I'm like, somebody's gonna touch me. Like I just know it. I just know it. I know it.
I have a pocket knife on one side, like my one bedside table, and then the other is this like personal alarm, which should be on my keychain, but I keep it in my bedside table for monsters. You pull it
Yes.
and it's flipping lights and like making this horrible noise. This is where
It's a monster repellent.
Yeah.
We're going to sell that on the website. I don't know whose it is. We're going to create our own version and we're going to call it Monster Repellent.
Scare yourself.
Marisa, are you just like over there lighting candles? Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much sleep with like half my ass off the bed. I'm pretty fearless when it comes to.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
You just spit the fucking tea out.
Yeah.
All right. So Grace is like, touch it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead and touch me while I'm sleeping. I don't give a fuck. But I am a
Bitch.
person that checks to make sure that like all of my doors and windows are locked like 3 times a day. So
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the monsters because I can sure as hell out monster them. But real humans are outside, and those things are fucking.
Are you the villain? No.
I might be the villain.
But no, it's terrifying. And I say this thing to my husband because I swear there's an old lady that lives in this house, well, is haunting this house. And sometimes because like Leo comes in and out of the room, so I have to keep this like door stopper in the door so it doesn't shut. It's always cracked. And I always do like, go get ready for bed. And I say, Ryan, look, old lady's staring. And he's like, stop it. Don't do that. He gets so fucking mad. He gets so mad. And like, I'm also scaring myself because now I'm staring like, is she? Like, why do I do that? Why am I doing this to myself? So I'm looking forward to add more trauma to my life in 2023 with all the new movies.
Yeah.
Demon possession, home invasions, taxes. No. Fuck it. We're going to call it our own horror movie. Just
It's called the IRS.
the IRS. It's scammed.
Oh yeah, if you
Give
don't
me
do your
all 8 of your Apple iPhone cards.
They'll come to
Sequel's
your
called
house.
Generational Trauma.
That's what the premise of the movie is going to be. It's going to be someone thinking they're being scammed. Like if you don't give us $800 in Apple gift cards right now, we're going to kill your dad. And then they don't do it, and then they go and kill their dad. Like let's make it fucking real.
Do you know how many movies you could make that would be based off of like, for this email to 10 people, or we're gonna
Yeah, I know.
come in and put a knife in your dog? Like,
Listen, Jason Blumhouse, we're going to do it's going to be called Scammed. But like, it's a psychopath, and the game, instead of like, what's your favorite scary movie? It's gonna be like, if you don't do this, we're going to do this. And then like actually do it. And then they call back and like, you thought I was fucking playing with you? Send me that PS5.
Did you guys ever see that Black Mirror episode?
Okay. I've never watched Black Mirror.
You would love it.
I
would
know.
love
What is
it.
wrong with me? What is my problem?
You should watch it.
I haven't seen the episode that you're talking about, Jenny, but I have seen, I think, all of the, no, maybe not all of, a lot of the first season.
Okay.
But
How many
it's
seasons are there?
similar. It's like the computer is like, I have a video through your camera of you doing something, of you masturbating, basically, and like, I'm going to forward it to everyone unless you do this. And then the guy, in the process of following the directions, teams up with other people who have been told the same thing. and it's like crazy intense.
Oh wait, I've seen a couple episodes of Black Mirror. I think I'm going back. Is it did you see the episode? Is this Black Mirror where like the president had to fuck a pig?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But it was the prime minister because it was England. But
Yes. It was very
Interesting show.
I don't know what else to say. Fuck a pig. I was like, why?
yeah,
He did it.
he did.
Right?
Yeah.
He did. Mm.
Yeah.
And there was another episode where you could like block people out, like memories, so like you wouldn't see them anymore, right?
Yeah, that was so sad.
It was. I do need to watch it. It's very strange. It is a strange show. But yes, I don't want to ramble. I think we've come to the end of the episode. We could keep going for hours and hours and hours, but I won't do that to our listeners because I know that it's a brand new year and they have to hit the gym and start their health diets, just like me and Jenny. You know, we start off strong and fat. That's how it is every year.
Speaking of fitness goals and horror, I got stuck on my Peloton yesterday.
Okay. Listen, this is how we're ending this episode. Don't start a fucking diet.
It's true.
What happened?
What happened?
Yes.
So they have like the shoes that you clip your shoes into the Peloton, and
I'm sorry to laugh at you.
the clips on the actual pedals were too tight, and my actual like shoe things were too loose. So I was trying to like unclip them, and I was like about to break an ankle.
God.
So if that had happened when James was not home, I would have been stuck on the Peloton, or I would have learned that I could just take my shoes off and get off the Peloton. That probably would have taken me a while to figure out.
She's like that lady I saw on TikTok. They sent a TikTok to me and they're like, 911, what's your emergency? And they're like, my car battery died and we're locked in the car. There's like a bunch of people in the car and like, what? And they're like, it's a real 911 call. And they're like, we're locked in the car. And they're like, man, have you tried to lift the lock? We can't. Oh, okay. Thank you. These are people behind the wheel. People that have passed. The battery died and now the doors are locked. You can open the door still. But I'm going to answer the terrifying trivia question.
Yeah, please do.
Let's wrap this up. For a refresher, because this was over an hour ago, this week's terrifying trivia question was, how many people did Michael Myers kill in Halloween Ends? And Grace, blind guess.
20.
Jen, you've seen the movie. Semi-blind guess.
I'm gonna say like 4.
You're both wrong. Get out. No. 3. He killed 3 people. He killed Corey, the annoying Debbie, the annoying coworker, and the cop, Officer Mulaney. Those are the only 3 people that Myers has killed in the new Halloween.
He didn't kill
That's shocking.
the disc jockey.
No, that was Corey.
Mm.
They put the tongue on the fucking
Yeah.
turntable. Yeah. So, well, he's also in his late 60s and been living in a sewer for 4 years without food or water and living off of scraps from the other homeless people, I'm guessing. It's a very realistic projection of what would happen in real life, but a lot of people want it a classic Halloween. But whatever. I'm going to end the show there.
Yeah, but whatever.
I really, again, thank you guys. This was so much fun. And I look forward to a brand new year. And hopefully you're both are always welcome back. Always welcome back on the show. We're going to watch some stuff. Grace, you still owe me a bonus episode.
Ooh,
We have to do an egg cleanse.
that's right.
We have
We
to
do.
cleanse me. Jen, you should come. We're just cleansing my aura and getting bad juju off me.
I need
So
that.
bonus episode. Yes. But that's it. Thanks to all the listeners who have been with us this whole time. It's so fucking cool. And I love you and we love you. And before I sign off, Grace, anything you want to say or promote or anything like that?
I would just like to say that it has been a beautiful year popping in and out with you. I love the sense of community, and I love that you're continuing to talk about normalizing trauma and dealing with trauma, and it's something that everybody should hear day to day, is just how to normalize their trauma. I appreciate you both so much, and I'm looking forward to spooking up 2023 with y'all.
How about you, Jen? Any last words before the end of the episode?
Yeah. Well, one, I am so impressed with what you've done with this. Like, having, heard you before you started saying what you wanted. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like it's just gone so well. And it's really wonderful to be invited back to You Let Me Participate. So thank you. And yeah, I love every part of it. So thanks for including me.
You want to do a live version of your intro? No.
No.
I told Ryan, I was like, we're all going to do it. Ready? Hello.
And welcome. No.
We're all going to do it all at the same time, and that'll be the 2023's intro.
We could try it. You could just splice us together.
Yeah, you already have mine. I'm never doing it ever again.
I have like 5 versions of Jenny. I also had like 5 versions of me pretending to do different voices.
You should send me it, and it should be my ringtone. I would love that.
Oh my God, I need it.
Hello.
It would scare me every time my phone will just go, hello. I'm like, who the fuck is that? I have enough trauma in my house of like thinking there's somebody here with me, aside from my husband. I don't have trauma with my husband. He's the best, fucking purest thing I've ever met in my life. The shame that he's got me, isn't it? To darken his world.
Yeah, he needs it.
I know. A reality check. But yes, thank you guys. We're all going to say stay spooky together. We're going to end the episode. And for all of you guys, if you're new listeners, thank you for sticking around for the last hour and 20 minutes to listen to 3 friends talk about why they like horror, what they like about horror, and how we love each other and just boost each other up, because that's another thing. We all have trauma, but we all support and boost each other up whenever we need it. And that's probably the most important thing about our community. So for everyone, find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 rate, review, all the fun shit that you know I'm supposed to say. And really just thank you for being here. And hopefully you come back next week. And that's it. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Bye.